Hello everyone, this is week 10. We will continue chapter 2, narrative paragraphs. Again, you have to read your book for detail from page 23 to page 36. The contents today is about punctuation, 3 comma rules, 2 writing process, 3 review chapter 2 and the last part practice, and writing assignment. So number 1, let's discuss about punctuations, and we will discuss 3 comma rules. When do we use comma? Alright, so number 1, put a comma after a time or the signal that comes before the subject at the beginning of a sentence, except then, soon, and now that we don't use comma. Look at the example. Yesterday I did homework for 3 hours. Finally, I was too tired to think. At 8 o'clock, I fell asleep on the sofa. But for soon, I started scoring. You see, soon, we do not need a comma. Soon, then, and now. Rule number 2, put a comma after the first sentence in a compound sentence. Put a comma before the coordinating conjunction. Don't use a comma between 2 parts of a simple sentence. You see, when we study about compound sentence already, right? Compound sentence is 2 simple sentences combined or joined together by coordinating conjunction or fanboy. But before we put coordinating conjunction, we put comma. Alright, this is the second rule. I was too tired. Look at the example. Alright, I was too tired to think, a comma, so I decided to take a break and watch TV for a while. Rule number 3, put a comma between the items in a series of 3 or more items. The items may be words, phrases, or clauses. Don't use a comma between only 2 items. I got up, comma, took a shower, comma, drank a cup of coffee, comma, grabbed my book, comma, and ran out the door. You see, we have more than 2 items. We call it a series of items. Alright, so again, we have 3 rules of using a comma here. 1, we use a comma with the time order that is at the beginning of a sentence. And number 2, we use comma in compound sentence. And number 3, we use comma for a series of items, of item that has more than 2. Second part of this lesson is about writing process. Let me remind you about the writing process that we discussed in chapter 1. So when we write a paragraph, it is not one-time process, alright? It is the step-by-step process. We need to follow step by step to create a good paragraph for your teacher. So how many steps in writing process that we discussed in chapter 1? Actually, we can say 4 or 5. Step 1, we do the pre-writing. It means before you write. So before we write, we have to choose a topic and collect idea. In chapter 1, we use one technique called listing. It's like brainstorming. You just list down all the idea like a list. And then we do the organization. We organize the idea step by step in order. We call it outline. And then step 3, you write your first draft. When you write your first draft, you don't care much about making mistakes because you will edit it later on, which is called step 4. When you do the editing, you correct your mistake, you revise, you make some changes. And finally, you write your final draft for your teacher. So in pre-writing, in chapter 1, we use technique called listing. But this time we will use another technique called free writing. When you free writing, or when you free write, you write freely without stopping on a topic for a specific amount of time. You just write down sentences as you think of them without worrying about whether your sentences are correct or not. You also don't have to punctuate sentences or capitalize words. You can even write incomplete sentences or phrases. The main goal in free writing is to keep your pencil moving across the paper. Alright, look at the example of free writing on the topic a memorable a memorable event in my life. Let me read this model for you. A memorable event in my life. I'm supposed to free write for 10 minutes about a memorable event in my life. I don't know what to write about. Maybe about my brother's boat accident. We were so scared. We thought he was going to drown. He was trapped under an overturned boat and didn't have any air to breathe. But it ended all right. He was rescued and had only a broken arm. What else can I write about? Oh, I know. A day I will always remember was the day I left my country to come to the United States. That was a sad, happy day. I felt sad and happy at the same time. Maybe I should write about something happy. About our family vacation last summer was fun. We drove to the coast and camped for a week on the beach. Then there was a day the earthquake happened. Now that was definitely a memorable event. That was definitely a memorable event. I will never forget it. I was at home with my older sister and little brother. This is the model when the writer do the free writing. We just keep writing, write and write, on and on. So you can use this technique to collect idea, alright? But still, you may think that the listing is the best choice for you. But now we have two techniques in the writing process in pre-writing. Alright. So number 3 is about the review of chapter 2. Now we have finished all the main point in chapter 2. So number 1, narration is the kind of writing that you do when you tell a story. Narration or narrative paragraph. It is the kind of paragraph that you tell a story. 2, we use time-ordered words or phrases to show when each part of the story happens. Again, in narration or narrative paragraph, you tell a story and we use time-ordered words or phrases to tell the story. 3, we discuss compound sentence in chapter 2. Compound sentence composed of 2 simple sentences joined by a comma and a coordinating conjunction. What can we call another name of coordinating conjunction? We call it fanboys. 4 coordinating conjunction are and, but, so, and or. We discuss in chapter 2 only 4 to make compound sentences. 5, commas are used after most time order signal at the beginning of the sentence. In compound sentence, between item in the series, in date written in the ordered month, day, year, in place names. Actually, we discussed only 3. 6, free writing is a pre-writing technique in which you write without stopping for a specific amount of time. Now we have two techniques to do pre-writing. In chapter 1, listing. Now in chapter 2, free writing. Okay, everyone, now it's time to do the practice. Again, send your answer to my Telegram. The first practice is, in the following sentences, add commas wherever they are necessary. Alright, put a comma when you think there should be one. 5. Writing assignment. Read the instruction, everyone. Write a paragraph of 120 words about a memorable event of a memorable experience in your life. Follow the format you have learned in chapter 1. Follow the format, alright, in chapter 1 that we discussed. You have to put the title, put the name, date, course name. You put the title, you indent the first sentence, put some margin, skip one line. Alright, these are the rules that you have to remember when you write a paragraph for me. Send your answer. Send only your final draft to me. Okay. Submit your assignment to me before next class. No late assignment. Alright, thank you everyone for today. See you next week. Good luck.